My contribution was this. I did 100% of the software. Brian and Sharon came up with the original idea of Rampage as far as it's like, what can we do as far as scrolling a background, using background animation as the buildings. They came up with the original idea, and then we got together on stuff, and we went from a 2-player monster breaking up the world to 3. It was, a lot of it was to do with, we were going to make you the biggest, baddest character on the screen and have all the good guys being the little people that you were destroying. It was a game of letting you do the destruction, and
you be the bad guy for a change.
You be the bad guy and have fun at it.
Rampage was fun. Rampage was one of these things that broke a lot of ground in a lot of different ways. We managed to squeeze an extra player on the cabinet, and that let the game at the time earn the distinction of being the highest earning game ever. So they wanted to do, once it took off, they wanted, a lot of the trade magazines wanted to do covers and stuff like that. So we actually we mocked up a scene wherein got a dollhouse and busted a wall out of it and put some furniture in there, and I made a little styrofoam head, and this was pushing through the wall, so it was the cover of a magazine. With this, because the rub with Rampage was you're destroying all these cities. There's 768 levels in the original game, and like 125 different cities. We actually, unbeknownst to management at the time, we sent out press releases to all the cities all over the world, telling them that their town was about to be destroyed by 3 giant creatures. And amazingly, over 50 papers around the world picked up on it. And I mean, front page articles telling them that, you too can destroy Peoria for 25 cents. This was, the peripheral stuff is as much fun, for me anyway. The stuff like this makes the industry fun, makes it fresh, makes every game fresh. The names for the characters were more just, because they sounded funny. There was nothing about Lizzie, obviously, is a lizard, but and George sounded like what a big ape would sound like, and Ralph was almost an onomatopoeia. Is that right? Is it onomatopoeia? Anyway, George is almost an onomatopoeia for, a dog or a wolf growling. So the names just sprung up in conversation. They seemed natural. You've got a certain amount of time to do a game. We've got to be done with this in so long. There's a million things you always want to do, and you come to the point where you've only got so much time left. So the feedback becomes real important. If people see that, yeah, I can punch this subway train and it goes back the other way, somebody stumbles onto the fact that, well, if you let me punch it again instead of destroying it, we've got a game within a game here. So it's accidental. Based on feedback, you enhance it. Instead of making it 2 hits to destroy it, well, let's make it 10 so they can knock it back and forth. Once the monsters shrunk, obviously they weren't wearing clothes when they were monsters. They'd have to be nude down there. So I did a little nude picture of men and women covering their private parts, such as they were. And actually, we had a fair amount of backlash over that. Here we've got something with that, her hips are only 3 pixels wide, so I defy you to point anything out if you could find it, but we actually got some, you can't do that. These people are, once they found out they were nude, there was a backlash, but it was more just, talk. It didn't hurt us in any way.